okay? And these are it's about Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies. Buccaneer is kind of another word for pirate. Have you ever read a book about pirate bunnies? Oh, I love it so much. It's so good. Okay. Cruising the seven seas on the crickety old ship called the Salty Carrot sailed a wild, rowdy band of Buccaneer bunnies. They were bad, bad bunnies, all right. And when the pirates on the other ships saw their long, floppy ears and their fluffy white tails, they shook with fear. The captain of the Salty Carrot was Barnacle Blackear, the baddest bunny brute of all times. Blackear was proud of his wooden paw, his golden earrings, and his mean reputation. What Blackear was not proud of was his son Henry. Instead of performing his proper pirating duties, Henry was more interested in reading the books the Buccaneers stole from other ships. "Shout, shiver me timbers," Blackear ordered. "I'd rather finish this chapter," said Henry. "Make this prisoner walk the plank." "Can't I just read about it?" asked Henry. "Find yourself a parrot for your shoulder." "First I need to read up on parrot care," said Henry. "Buccaneer bunnies don't need books," said Blackear. "Toss them overboard," he yelled at the other bunnies. "No, wait," cried Henry. "Let me just finish them first." "Avast," cried Blackear. "Swab the deck until you come to your senses." And so Henry swabbed the deck day after day while reading some of his favorite books, like Robinson Crusoe and 30 Days to Longer Ears. "Bet you can't learn how to do this from a book," Jean Lahair said while sharpening his hook. Henry sighed and turned the page. "You'll never find booty like this in a book," Calico Jack Rabbit told him, holding up his stolen loot. Henry shrugged and turned the page. "Can't do this with a book in your paw," Bartholomew Bunny said while sanding his peg leg. Henry just turned another page. As much as he loved his book, Henry was a lonely Buccaneer bunny if there ever was one. Then one morning he looked up at the red sky and wiggled his little pink nose. He heard the parrots squawk and saw fish jumping out of the water. "If my books on meteorology are correct, those signs mean a big storm's coming and it's heading this way," he thought. Henry tried telling Jean Lahair about the upcoming storm. "Excuse me, but I believe a storm is coming," Henry said. But Jean was too busy polishing his piece of eights. "Go back to your books, Henry." He tried telling Calico Jack Rabbit. "I'm pretty sure a storm's on its way," Henry said. But Calico Jack was too busy admiring his tattoo of cabbage. "Don't bother me now, Henry." Finally, he cried, "Batten down the hatches. A huge storm is coming." "What do you know about storms?" Blackear demanded. "Get back to swabbing the deck before I make shark bait out of those books of yours." Henry did as he was told, but he kept his little pink eyes on the sky. When he saw the rats abandoning ship, he started packing up his books in empty treasure chests. The storm started small. A few low grumbles of thunder, a spike of lightning, then suddenly a crashing, bashing, thrashing wildcat of a hurricane broke loose. It shook the ship, suffering sea dogs. It mangled the mast. Great blimey bliges. It slashed the sails, damaged the deck, and ripped up the rickety old Salty Carrot. All that was left floating on the choppy waters were a bunch of soggy bunnies and Henry's treasure chests filled with books. When the storm finally calmed down, Blackear, Henry, and the rest of the Buccaneers paddled to the nearest island. "We're ruined," wailed Blackear. "No ship, no pieces of eight, no gems." He sat in the sand and blubbered like a lily land lubber. But Henry got to work. The first thing he did was build a 2-story hut out of palm fronds and coconuts. "How'd you learn how to do that?" asked Blackear. "Oh, I read 101 Things to Do with Palm Fronds and Coconuts," replied Henry. Next, he built a fire and cooked up some tasty seaweed stew. "Blimey," said the hungry bunnies. "Where'd you learn that?" "Oh, I found it in recipes for quick and easy meals for maroon pirates," said Henry. Then he made them all fetching garments from bits of pieces he had salvaged from the shipwreck. "We look like gentle bunnies, we do. What swank swashbucklers we are. Arr, and it's from them land-loving books, said Black-Ear, shaking his head. Henry taught Black-Ear and the Buccaneer bunnies all kinds of useful things, like how to plant carrots, make the best sandcastles, and build boats out of palm frogs. Soon they built a new ship, which they sailed to the library at the nearby Easter Islands every summer. Here the bunnies spent many happy hours slurping seaweed stew and reading books. Aye, Buccaneer bunnies will always need books, said Black-Ear. Henry just smiled and turned the page. So this book was Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies by Carolyn Creamy and illustrated by John Manders.